8th annual Wounded Warrior Tournament here at Eisenhower Park in Hillside. This is the winner bracket championship game. The winner here will advance to the overall championship game where they'll have to be beat twice. So a little different view today of this game. And so far these two teams have looked very good. Again, a lot of familiar faces on both teams. So Who's Me will be leading off, and they will be the visitors. So just checking something here on the camera. We're good to go. And PJ Rain's going to be leading off. Amanda Urdillis in center, batting second, and then Anthony Stacy. So some familiar names right out of the gate here as we're winding our way down. After this, we'll take off a game as the losers bracket will be concluding. And there's a line drive base hit. So Pete Raines, we showed him on Monday night, doesn't seem to have any ill effects from that ankle injury from a Berwyn fall ball, as Stick Talk won that. So here comes Amanda, the center fielder. Leadoff double here for Who Me. Of course, PJ. There's a little one hopper to the short center. She picks it up, and first baseman stayed on the bag for out number one. And that brings up Anthony Stacy. So Anthony with flashback last year, and of course PJ going there. He left the 45s as we're starting to hear the player movement. PJ standing on third now with less than 2 outs. And Anthony goes up the elevator shaft. Julian Gutierrez, basket catch, throw to the plate is not going to be in time. And Who Me grabs the first lead of the ball game. So Anthony just quite didn't barrel up, didn't get his hands out. And Julian Gutierrez made the basket catch. He is a left-handed thrower, so he had to kind of turn his body and not catching it above his head. Cost him some precious seconds. Brings up Katie Williams. And she hits a little soft line drive to Pops Alejandro for the third out, but they do scratch. They do take an early 1-0 lead. So coming up for bad attitude, Johnny McIlvain, Ashley Lentine, and Pops Alejandro. So again, this is 14-inch mush ball, and this ball is not very hard. Women can use a glove. The men go barehanded. And 60-foot bases, 38 from the rubber to the point of home plate, 6'12". There's no real faking going on. Obviously, no drag step. And 1-1 count. And I believe they do not lead off in the co-ed mush out here. So no fences. It's all you can get. Very tricky down this right field line because of the light posts. You know, you wish they would have been on the other side of this where the fence goes down. So as an outfielder, you got to be aware of that. It does slope a little bit in the outfield for drainage. And the infields have actually, the batter's boxes are a little rough, but the infield's in pretty good shape. They got a weird looking surface here. So Johnny McIlvain will be leading off. Again, a lot of softball still to go this fall season. And McIlvain, little golf shot into right center, dumps it in front of Chuck Regaldo. Of course, Chuck, center fielder with the 45, so we do have a lot of major guys on the field. So leadoff man on, it brings up Ashley Lentine, made a spectacular running catch in the game we televised this morning. Saved that ball game. Ground ball to short, over to second, Nicole's pivot in time, and that'll be a double play. So good job by Alex Cotto, little incognito. He's got a hood on and some kind of a neck wrap that is almost like a mini mask. And there's a swing by Pops, and that'll be fouled on the right field line. Yeah, PJ running, moving very well, so we're glad to see that. He was kind of gimping around on Monday. So Pops on the reset. And Pops strokes it up the middle, but Nicole, great read. And you can see from the shadows, she had to look back. Anything hit to center, right center, left center could be a little exciting. Left field as well, as you can see the way the shadows are. And we did see last year when we came out here for this event that did on occasion rear its head. So a little challenging for the outfielders. So Pops Alejandro lines out, and we'll head to the top of the second. Still 1-0. So Frank Jekyll and his fall session league up in Rosemount will be starting on Tuesday. They'll have games Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be up there to live stream, so it should be a lot of fun. Shouldn't say that. We might be having a board meeting. I'm not sure what day that's going to fall on. So here's Chuck Regaldo. Takes that pitch a little high and deep. And there's a ground ball off of Little Dave. He'll recover, little shovel to first. And they get the leadoff man. So Chuck hit it hard, but Little Dave very quick. And I know we mentioned it earlier today, but I want to congratulate the Black 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame for their inaugural dinner last night. High pop-up. McIlvain is there, and he puts it away for out number 2. So Alyssa Somalia pops out in foul territory, brings up Jason Camarillo. Very nice event. They had over 270 people there. So we wish them the best. So a lot of stuff still going on, even though we're technically in the summer off season. And Jason, a hard slash. He gets it over Harrigan. Fair down the line. McIlvain will get it in a hurry. And they will keep him to a single. And they'll courtesy run for Jason with Chuck Regaldo. And it brings up Nicole Turner. Turned a nice double play, got a great read on a line drive in the top of the first. And there's a little squibber to first, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So Who Me cannot extend, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. So it's warmed up a little bit. That sun in a little higher position has been beaten down a little bit, and very pleasant day to play softball. Hopefully they'll get this tournament in before the sun goes down, because you got to figure that the temperature's going to plunge a little bit. We'd like to also announce that we're not done with this 2024 year, and we've already broken our previous record of 2.9 million minutes watched. We're up over 3.1. So the way it's trending, we might get to 3.3. How about that? People watching 16-inch softball all across the country. So here's Nicole Udrow leading off, Julian Gutierrez. And there's a little slow roller. Alex Cotto picks it up and throws in time for out number 1. So who'd have thought people all across the United States in several foreign countries would be checking out SSA broadcasts, as we're rapidly approaching 36,000 followers. Nice stuff. Here's Julian Gutierrez. And he really, as we talked about, because if you walk a guy and he grabs a strike there, then the female walks behind him. And Lauren Dean is on deck. And Julian, hard ground ball over to Jason Camarillo. Throw to first. Pulls Alyssa off of the bag. Can't call time. That's kind of an odd situation. So that's kind of a weird play there, because Julian was trying not to run over the first baseman, and his momentum kind of spun him out towards second. I don't know if he had a real intention of going, but that'll go as a double play. It brings up Lauren Dean, and she hits a little pop-up. Camarillo makes the catch. So with the odd double play, they don't score, and we'll head to the top of the third inning here. Still 1-0. So that's just a tough break. If you're Julian, he's doing the right thing. Again, we commented in the first game today, there's no orange safety base here. And Julian pulled up there. And just a strange play all the way around. Umpire very easily could have allowed him to go back to first. But I think where Julian got in trouble is he had a brief time there where he realized he was way towards second, and he actually kind of stopped. And I think if you look back on the tape, he may have taken his right foot and made an action like he was going to, go to second. So tough play all the way around. Here's Alex Cotto. He'll be followed by Bree Rivera, and then the top of the lineup, PJ Raines. And Alex strokes it toward right, and Julian stumbled a little bit. He's not too happy, so the ball drops in, and now they throw it to nobody in particular, but Alex had already broken it down, couldn't take advantage of it. And of course, Alex been fighting some leg injuries, but he says he's okay to go. So here's Bree Rivera, the catcher, stepping in now. Leadoff man on. And she swings, lifts a soft fly ball, and McIlvain takes charge out there and makes the catch. Again, Ashley is kind of pointing to her sunglasses. I don't know if she got a good look at it. Johnny coming in on an angle was able to make that play. So top of the lineup, PJ Raines up. Singled his last time. Again, the winner here will be in the first championship game. And PJ, a little spinner, rolling, just goes foul. So it ended up dying right on the line, apparently. Little Dave knew he wasn't going to have a play at first. Alex Cotto running all the way makes it to third. And PJ Raines, if he could bottle that swing, might hit 1,000. So just a little spinner died on the line. And here is Amanda. So one out here. Runners on the corner. So little roller up the middle. They pitch to second for one. They can't get the double play, and Amanda does her job. She drives the run in. She was hustling down the line. Pops Alejandro thought he might try it, thought better of it. So here's Anthony Stacy. 2 outs here. And Stacy hits a high soft fly ball, and second baseman got there but couldn't make the catch. So Amanda was running to second. Little Dave was chasing the ball down the line a little bit, and they had a little bump. And that's a good example where with 2 outs she was running. So reset for Stacy in the box. Anthony flied out to center field his first time up. And there he rifles a base hit to center field. Throw to third is not going to be in time. Runners on the corner now. Brings up Katie Williams. So 2-0 here. Big 2-out hit here for Katie Williams if she can come through here. And there's a line drive, but right at Pops Alejandro, and that'll end the inning. But they do push a run across. They push out to 2-0. It's Katie Williams, soft line drive for the third out. So we head to the bottom of the third. It'll be Jack Harrigan, Mallory Reinhardt, and Dave Bradford. Long way to go in this one. So Jack Harrigan had a very good ball game this morning against TTF. And Jack swings and he crushes the ball toward the gap in left center field. It's going to be at least 2, and Jack will jog in standing. So Jack's been swinging it real good in this tournament, second game, and hasn't lost anything, that's for sure.
Bang 10. Oh, okay.
So here's Mallory now. And Mallory, a little short pop-up. Jason Camarillo makes the catch for out number 1. Would have liked to have seen Mallory maybe hit a ground ball and move Jack to third. Brings up Dave Bradford. Brittany Aiello on deck. Bad attitude has shown us that they can't come back from deficits. And little Dave off of Stacy kicked it right to third, and now they got Harrigan, and would have been interesting, but Camarillo couldn't catch the ball. Harrigan got fooled. When that ball bounced off of Stacy, it rolled right to third base.
Get that head up, Jack, and see it.
So first and second here. Brings up Brittany Aiello. And there's a soft pop-up. Nicole goes back, makes the catch, no tag. That'll be 2 outs here, bringing up Johnny McIlvain. Bad attitude trying to crack the seal and get on the board. Johnny's been hitting the ball pretty well. He had a couple of rockets to the right side his last ball game. And there he just golfs it into right center. 1 run is in. Bradford making the turn. Cotto can't handle the throw, and now McIlvain will go to second. So 2 runs. McIlvain just golfed it toward right center. Chuck got it in and threw it to Cotto. He couldn't handle the relay. Both runs scored. We're all tied up. Here's Ashley Lentine. So it looked like Humi was going to get out of this inning maybe with no damage. Instead, bad attitude, another 2-out big base hit. No pitch there as Ashley had called time and stepped out. And there's a one-hopper to Pops. He's bobbling it, or Cotto. But he did recover and make the play. So Alex Cotto had a lot of trouble, but he stayed with it and got the out. We're going to head to the top of the fourth. Snappy ball game, 2-0, or 2-2, excuse me. Nothing been decided yet as we're approaching the halfway mark. And this is a nice park. It's tucked in a residential neighborhood. They got tennis courts, a big gazebo, a pool. You can see they got a massive playground down there way in left field. Soccer nets all over and 2 diamonds and lights. So leading off is Chuck Regaldo. Then it'll be Alyssa Stramalia and Jason Camarillo. As we got a brand new ball game tied at 2. And that pitch is inside. And there's a little ground ball to Harrigan. And they just get Chuck at first. And I'd remind George Bliss and Jerry Brown to please not text with me included while I'm live streaming. So big first out there. And I'll bring up Alyssa Stramalia, who did play college softball. I want to say at Ball State. And there she drives it into left, but McIlvain goes back and makes the catch. And it's funny, everybody knows who the players are that have a deep history of playing, as McIlvain was playing her at a very deep level there. So here's Camarillo with 2 outs and nobody out. And Jason punches it into center. Ashley Lentine jumps on it. 2-out single. And Chuck Regaldo will come out and courtesy run yet again. So here's, this should have been Nicole, but I believe this is a pinch hitter. And she hits a high pop-up. Ashley Lentine makes the catch. So halfway through, still 2-2. As we head to the bottom of the fourth. So wherever you are, we're glad you're tuning in, taking a little break from college football. Thanks for joining us. So the pinch hitter is going to stay in the game, and she's going to go out to short center. We'll try to get her name. Jason, who's the short center? What's her name? Maddie? So Madeline Robinski in for Nicole. And here's Pops Alejandro. And Pops a little roller to Jason from his knees. He'll throw Pops out for out number 1. And that'll bring up Nicole Udro. As both teams not really showing a lot of offense in this game so far. And there's a high fly ball running over toward the line and staying in play. Enough that PJ got to the line relatively quickly and was able to make sure he kept himself in play. Here's Julian Gutierrez. And Julian drives it to center, going back, gotten turned around a little bit there. Was Amanda. Jason's throw to the plate, and is a little offline. Anthony Stacy tried to catch and shovel, but a 2-out home run puts Attitude ahead. Amanda went out. That ball looked like, of course, Julian left-handed. We talk about how when your hands lead, that ball will slice away from you, and that's what that ball did. Just kept slicing away from her. Turns into a solo shot. And there's a ground ball to Camarillo. High throw, she makes sure with the tag. And that'll be the third out, but they do grab a lead there. So Lauren Dean grounds out to Camarillo. And we'll head to the top of the fifth here. We see it a lot in the co-ed game. We see a lot of females playing center field. And again, that ball just had goofy action. It was kind of an inside-out swing with weird spin. There's not a lot of wind here. It's a lot less than it was earlier today. And it wasn't exactly blowing hard. You can see there's a flag on the backstop. It's barely moving. So Alex Cotto, Bree Rivera, and then the top with PJ Raines. And Cotto, hot shot to Harrigan, long throw, a little bit of a screwball. We noticed a little bit in the between inning warm-ups that Harrigan's been throwing some screwballs over here. That usually tells you you're not getting your arm slot high enough. So he's throwing it a little sidearm, and when the ball's coming off his hand, it's tailing away from the first baseman. So here's Bree Rivera, and line drive to Harrigan. He's going to try to throw it back. And he drills Chuck. He got his hands up. Or he might have got that right in the back of the noggin. First baseman says dodgeball. So here's PJ Raines. PJ's been having a good year, whether it's 16-inch or 14-inch. Of course, his father, Petey Raines, longtime softball guy. His father just made the Wall of Fame. And of course, his company, Iron Horse Security, one of the SSA sponsors. Corporate partners, I should say. So here's PJ, and he goes to right field, and that's going to drift foul. He had a big home run in Berwyn when he hit a line drive down the line. Take it back, it was a triple. Ball ended up bouncing out of play, so he's certainly capable of going hard down the right field line. The Manda on deck. So who me, trailing by a run. So 1 on, 1 out here. PJ rakes it up the middle, short center. Can't get it over to second. Ball jumped up, her glove came off her hand, and 2 runners on. So here's Amanda. And Amanda roller to Bradford. He goes to third, throw across, and they call her out. You can rewind the tape on that. I'm not sure. But they spin the double play, and they got. So we're going to head to the bottom of the fifth, still 3-2. A little rally there gets snuffed out by the double play. Amanda hustling down the line. I don't think she agreed with the call. She might have had an argument. So Jack Harrigan, Mallory Reinhardt, and Dave Bradford. Anybody gets on, Brittany Aiello. So 3-2 here, bottom of the fifth. As we're chugging along here, as we're not seeing a ton of offense. Here's Jack Harrigan, red hot today. And the Maluk does not live yet, as third baseman just couldn't get there. And there's a little fister, and if it's fair, but it's foul, so the Maluk lives. So we got some commentators chiming in there. Here's Mallory. And she hits a little roller to third baseman. Nice pick by Alyssa Stromali over here at first. She went down and made it look routine. So 2 outs, nobody on for Dave Bradford. Of course, last time he banged one off of Stacy that rolled right to the third baseman. And Dave up the middle, Madeline makes the play for the third out of the inning. So the new short center, Madeline, who came in for Nicole, makes the play, and little Dave Bradford grounds out. We'll head to the top of the sixth. 3-2. So we told you about the Rosemont Dome. Stevo Rodriguez will be running the fall session of the Los Barachos Fall League up at Intentional Sports. We'll be up there doing some live streaming. So it's going to be Anthony Stacy, Katie Williams, and Chuck Regaldo. And Stacy tries a cut. Foul ball. Foul ball down the left field line there. So Anthony Stacy will have to come on back. Again, they don't really have painted lines. You can see, they only go down about maybe 15 feet onto the grass. So anything beyond that becomes problematic for an umpire to see when you take into account how some of these fields slope. That's one of the toughest calls for an umpire. So here's Anthony Stacy, 2 strikes now. He needs to keep the ball in play. And Anthony, a little ground ball. I think that might have brushed. And now Anthony way out there. The shortstop ran in, and he just walks it all the way in to make sure he doesn't try to take off. Looked like Pops and Short center had a beat on that. PJ Raines will come out and run.
Jason will stretch it to side for him.
So PJ's going to come in and run here. Brings up Katie Williams. I think they're wondering whether or not PJ can come in courtesy run. So they're having some issue, but the umpire decides that it's okay. And here's Katie Williams as we get back to some softball here. Katie hits it right up the elevator shaft. That'll be out of play. Of course, Jason doing what he always does, trying to stir the pot a little bit. So here's Katie Williams as we settle back in. Soft line drive to Harrigan. He makes the play, and he'll bring up Chuck Regaldo. One out now. Oh, it looks like there's a pinch hitter, Trey Johnson, going to take a swing here for Chuck Regaldo. For a split second there, I thought Trey was coming right at me, but he mishit it.
I didn't put myself.
So Trey needs to keep the ball fair now. And Julian Gutierrez in right, it really isn't playing him very deep. He's backpedaling a little bit. Trey shoots it to second. They'll get the fielder's choice. Nice job by Pops to dig it out of the dirt. 2 outs. And it brings up Alyssa Stramalia. So Humi got the early 2 runs, one in the first and I want to say that was the second inning when they got the second run. They haven't done anything since. Because we're in the top of the 5th. And Alyssa swings through it. And she had 2 strikes, so that'll go as a strikeout if you're keeping score at home. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 3-2. And again, if you are bad attitude, you do have the hammer, but 1 run is awful tenuous. Me in the top of the 7th will have Jason Camarillo, Madeline Rubinski, and Alex Cotto. Again, big difference if you go into the losers bracket. And I believe TTF is still alive. They might be playing enemy down there. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Madeline, a little bobble. And the leadoff hitter is on. Brittany Aiello. And they'll courtesy run for Brittany. And it brings up the top of the lineup. Again, these co-ed games, you win or lose based on what your women do more than the men. So you got McIlvain, then Ashley Lentine, and Pops Alejandro. And you don't want to walk McIlvain because that would load the bases. And he swings, tried to go back to right center field. This time he didn't sit through the swing, and he hit it right up the elevator shaft. So one out. Now Ashley Lentine check it in. And there's a high fly ball. Chuck Regaldo nestles it into his chest for out number 2. That brings up Pops Alejandro. Nicole Udro on deck. And Pops tries to come this way. Can't quite get there. So Jake telling the first baseman, you got to lay out. And that goes off of Stacy. Madeline can't get to second. Good hustle there by the courtesy runner. She was moving on the swing. And now there's a little trouble brewing. Nicole Udro in a position to maybe drive in a insurance run. She pops it up. That'll be out of play. Pitch just a hair deep. And she swings and hits a little ground ball, and they'll go to short way. For the third out. So do or die 7th here as Nicole grounds out to end the inning. If you're me, you need a run to keep the game going. You need 2 to take the lead. Anything less, and bad attitude will be playing in the championship game. So Camarillo, Madeline, and Alex Cotto, the first 3 hitters. And I don't think Dave realizes his right fielder is just running out onto the field now. And Jason tries to punch it down the line, and McIlvain makes a sliding catch and robs him. Big play by McIlvain. So little Dave, ever the gentleman, comes over and saves the first baseman a few steps. So here's Madeline, came in for Nicole Turner a couple innings ago. And she hits it hard up the middle. And spectacular play by the short center. She ranged far to her left, snagged it with the glove, and threw a strike. That is the best defensive play of the ball game. Hang a star on it. Down to their last out, and Alex Cotto. And Cotto, hot ground ball. Alejandro bobbles it. Again, we talk all the time, kids, if you can round off and get in front of ground balls, that's what you want to do. Pops was trying to play it off a hip. He knows Alex can scoot a little bit. Down to their last out. They do have the tying run right here in front of you in the form of Alex Cotto. And there's a line drive, but McIlvain puts it away. Final score, 3-2. Bad attitude will advance to the championship where they will have to get beat twice. Who's Me still in the event. I believe they'll be playing the winner of Enemy and TTF shouldn't say that. Who's Me is still in. They'll play the winner of that game. So we'll take a break. And then whoever comes out of that 3-team grouping will have to beat Bad Attitude twice. So Bad Attitude will get a couple of games off here. And we'll see what happens. So on behalf of the SSA, thanks for tuning in. We should be back in a little bit with the championship game, so keep checking our page. We love you. Thanks for your support. We'll talk to you soon. Live from Eisenhower Park in Hillside, Illinois.